Our main idea is a psychological crime drama dealing with the issues of domestic violence and knife crime. It's about a young girl aged 18 who gets into a relationship with an older male who's 25. And at first we see the young girl in a dark room by herself holding the knife. Then it goes into flashbacks and we start to see the couple happy together. And then it changes and we see the boyfriend beating the girl. The opening sequence ends in the same sort of shot, but we start to hear police sirens outside.
The theorists that have brought into this are called Levi-Strauss, because there's a lot of binary opposition here. For example, there's a male-female opposition. There's a happy-sad one, which where they used to be a happy couple, but now there's just been problems in the relationship. And there's the summer and winter opposition, because in the past it's set in summer, and then in the present it's in winter. And there's also young and old, because the male is a lot older than the female. There's also Todorov's equilibrium in there, because it starts off with an equilibrium of the couple being happy, but then it falls into a disequilibrium when they're in a problem.
We researched about crime dramas and we found out that the typical codes and conventions are the fact that they usually have harmful props such as knives and guns, and there's usually like a chase scene that involves cars most of the time, and that the antagonists usually have an unidentified problem or issue that we find out later on in the as the plot thickens. And the protagonist, who saves everyone, usually has a partner, and whether the main character is, for example, a detective or a forensic scientist, and the characters usually involve someone that's vulnerable, and the themes are like betrayal, and the crime that takes place are usually thefts or murders, and crime dramas usually show conflict between the protagonist's work life and the protagonist's personal life.
The conventions that this opening scene conforms to is that in normal crime dramas you normally see the crime happening in the first opening scene. There's normally police also in the opening scene and dark lightings where the crime takes place. You can also, another convention is that there's usually flashbacks and weapons seen as the opening scene develops. This opening scene deviates from the stereotypical genre opening scenes, because unlike many crime genres, they consist of old white males, whereas this has a female killer who's black, and the relationship of abuse between the man and the woman is not usually a crime featured during a crime drama. Also, the couple is young, whereas normally in crime dramas there's normally older people, and the flashbacks differentiate from crime dramas because they are more stereotypically seen in a bar or film, or a romantic film, because it goes from a romantic scene where they're happy, and then it switches to a more violent action kind of scene.
Okay, questions?
On the point, like the strength, it's like I really like the whole theme of opposites in it, because like in crime drama, it's always the good guy and bad guy, and it's like flows through every single like detail with summer, winter. I think that works really, really well. Yes.
I've got strength. The opening scene really sticks to like the crime theme, where you see like the weapons and stuff. But I also like the flashbacks because it brings out the psychological side of it. Like it really sort of brings it out, and that will be like apparent to the audience when they watch it.
Okay. Any weaknesses, guys? The only thing that I would want to question you on is obviously domestic abuse, domestic violence is quite a sensitive issue. How are you going to make sure that it's not too hard hitting for your audience. So like it wouldn't offend people or it wouldn't upset people who perhaps are dealing with quite strong issues. So how are you going to make it subtle but still get your point across?
We had the idea that you don't actually see what the boyfriend looks like. He's more sort of seen as a dark shadow. And in like the flashbacks, we use a point of view shot where the girl's looking up at like this dark figure. And as he goes to hit her, we just sort of see like the camera sort of fall to the floor, like as if the audience is her. So we don't actually see any of the violence, which is the psychological side of it. We have to put it together ourselves.